Hi Shayone.
Hi.
Hi Shayone. How are you doing today?
Good, thank you.
So, could you please tell us about who you are and what you do?
Well, I'm Shayone. I'm the owner of Crumble Mania. We have a vegan dessert shop, but it's a crumble shop, let's be honest. It's all things crumble. So apple crumble, loads of different flavours, cherry, pineapple, peach, banana. But then the crumble is our main speciality. So rather than just the normal traditional crumble, we've got the chocolate chip, the Oreo, the coconut, and a few others. But the angelic, that one's catering for those with dietary requirements as well. So it's still sweet, it's absolutely yummy, but we use coconut sugar, so it's low glycemic index. So it doesn't spike your sugar levels as high as quickly. And the same for the hemp protein, we use that sugar as well, but there's hemp protein in there which has loads of nutrition, high in protein. But yeah, that's our main focus. There's loads that's not on there, that's all in the head that one day will be available, but that's what we do, crumble specialist.
And what made you start Crumble Mania?
That's a good question. So crumble is something that's been in my family for years, and we grew up on it. It's that dessert that brings the family together. There can't be an occasion without a tray of crumble being bought. You know what I mean? You have to make the crumble and bring that along. Can't come empty-handed. But then growing up, that was something that, well, my grandma taught my mum taught me, but we used to have that every Sunday. Cool, there might be the odd Sunday we didn't have it, but traditionally that was our Sunday dessert. Sunday dinner, crumble after. And everybody knew it was going to be available, so different people would come to the house, and they're not interested in coming for Sunday dinner, they always come in for crumble. Do you know what I mean? But regardless, like, the Christmas being one of the main things, and no matter what's, you know, I've got a very big family, so in spite of what's happening in the family, you know, you have little squabbles, that one. Like, it doesn't matter what's happening, if there's little family feuds, Christmas, you're coming for your crumble. It's one of those ones. So then I went plant-based probably about 6 years ago now. And at the time, there wasn't that many vegan options on the shelves, in restaurants, there just wasn't really much. And when you did find a vegan dessert, no disrespect to whoever was doing vegan desserts back then, they just tasted like sugar. Just sugar, couldn't taste much flavour. And apple crumble obviously is my natural favourite dessert. A hot dessert was hard to find, cold desserts maybe. So going plant-based and making it at Christmas for the family and not being able to join in, everybody all, oh yeah, crumble, rubbing their bellies, feeling all nice. I was jealous, straight up and down, envy struck. I was like, no. The tradition's gonna stop now, guys. Unless I can reinvent this vegan, we're done. No more crumble. Because my mum weren't making it no more. She's like, nah, I'm done, that's your job. I'm like, well, my job stops here unless I can reinvent this. So I was just on a mission from there, to be honest. I was literally on a mission, and then there's so much people around me, family, friends, that have these different dietary requirements. There's a lot of people in my family, as black people, as you know already, high diabetes and high blood pressure, unfortunately, is quite common. So yeah, it was kind of bearing those things in mind, that when I was creating it at the time, I was quite extreme. I wasn't having cane sugar anymore. So the first one I actually created, rather than the original recipe and trying to recreate that, I just made the angelic crumble. It's like, I'm not using cane sugar, didn't want to use no ordinary plain white flour either. And then I was thinking about athletics, because I was an athlete then. So then the hemp protein came about, because it's like, I need a high protein diet, and I would use hemp protein in general in certain things. So then it just started unfolding itself. So originally it was from my own belly. and then it just expanded from there.
What led you to start your plant-based journey?
My body started rejecting everything. I guess you could say I was on a journey where I went to understand myself a bit more. So I would ask a lot of questions. Like, there's people in the world that are vegetarian already. There's people who are vegan. Why? Why are they and I'm not? Do you know what I mean? So it's like, am I actually a meat eater? And somebody asked me the question, because obviously a lot of our eating habits are exactly that, they're habits. It's not because we actually know that that thing's good for us, it's we're used to that taste, we're used to that texture, we're used to every Sunday we have a roast or whatever it might be, do you know what I mean? So it's like, okay, I don't deal with habits and just conforming for the sake of. So it's like, okay, I'm grown now, I can make these decisions, let me make the decision. And when I looked at when I was a child, whenever I would eat chicken, as an example, I would not eat close to the bone. If that vein even touched my lip, I would feel so sick. Like that vein, stringy bit that just, like, it worked for me. So I started to think, So it's not like you enjoyed, oh, I'm eating a chicken that goes cluck cluck. Like, it wasn't that. Do you know what I mean? It was, yes, the flavors, it's seasoned well and all of that stuff. But then I never liked seeing a whole roast chicken on the plate because then it looks like the animal.
Yeah.
As a kid, it's like, that wasn't fun. I didn't, yummy. I would never look at that and say yum. I'd never look at a whole fish. Now I love fish. But I would never want the whole fish where it looks like a fish and you can see the eye. He's just staring at me. I'm trying to enjoy my food. I don't know. So then I realised, well, psychologically, I wasn't actually into eating animals anyway. And the more I started to acknowledge that, who told me to acknowledge that? Because then my body's then started to play ball. I say, oh, okay, you're right, actually. You didn't. You like the flavours because it's seasoned well, because you wouldn't eat chicken without salt or pepper. At the bare minimum, you wouldn't. You need at least salt on that. So you can't say you like chicken. You like the seasonings applied to the chicken. And there's something about the texture that you're used to and you're like, okay. Again, who told me to ask these questions? Because then when I had eggs, it was like there was a demon coming out of me. I don't vomit. I hadn't vomited since I was like 6 years old. So it was very traumatic for me 6 years ago. Going in a calf before an athletics, I had a race that day actually. I said I'm going to treat myself. So I had breakfast in a nice little calf. There wasn't nothing wrong with the eggs, it was not their food that was the problem. Now I eat fast, so it didn't take more than 10 minutes before my plate was nearly clean, and I just started to feel this feeling. I was like, what is this? And I had my mint tea, and I know that mint settles my stomach whenever I usually feel sick. Who told me to take a sip? Game over. I had to hold, to point like, where's the toilet? Went there, I got to the toilet door, I just made it, and I've seen people vomit on the streets and all of that. This isn't a pretty topic, but reality is we've all seen someone vomit before. And some people, they vomit pretty. It's just a little, you know, and it comes out. No, I was demon possessed. I was at this doors, and this projectile. I'm like, what is going on here? Oh yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot. Nah, listen, you have not got to tell me twice. That was enough. Like, I'm not touching that again. Big 30s. First time vomiting since you're 6 years old. You think I want to experience that again? I'm good. So yeah, that was draw number one. And then I just said, okay, maybe this is a sign. Don't want to eat meats and all of that no more, but let's see. I'm like, I'm not giving up fish. I'm not doing that. And I'm not giving up chicken wings. I'm not giving up jerk chicken. It's like, no, we're not doing that. So, but I didn't touch anything until this happened like April, I think, of that year, whatever year that was. And then July, my brother had a barbecue for his birthday. And she was jerk chicken. What did I eat? I had bread, salad, and the jerk sauce to try and feel like I was involved a bit. It didn't hit the same. It didn't quite hit the same. So I said, I'm gonna pack some. I was so ambitious. I must have took about 6 pieces of chicken. This is someone that hadn't eaten meat for months. I took about 6 pieces of chicken, like packing this in a container, took it home. My mum was with me at the time. I was like, Mum, I'm gonna try it. First layer, it's like, you know the part that gets kind of charcoaled?
Yeah.
So it's got that real jerk flavorings. All the seasonings are there, it's good to go. I'm like, this is good. As I tried to take a next layer and go further into the flesh, it tasted like flesh. It just tasted like flesh. I could taste blood. It was not undercooked. There was nothing wrong with that chicken by normal standards. But because my palate I'd not been having meat, I could just taste raw flesh. And again, I'm like, we're not doing this. I'm like, no, we're not doing this. And I'm like, okay, let me take another bite. Let's see. Like for punishment. I said, let me take another bite. Let me see. This is just in my head. It's psychological. Come on now. This tastes good. Had another bit of the charcoal bit. Like the bit that goes straight on the grill. Like, the flavour's nice though, Mum. It's nice. She said, what are you doing? Just stop. I'm like, no, but it's nice. It's the flavour is nice. Got closer to the flesh. I'm like, no. Okay, I think I'm done. So yeah, that's pretty much what did it. I was just scared to try anything else after that time. I was like, no, I'm not even gonna bother forcing it. I could tell mentally, my body and my mind, or my younger mind at least, decided to connect and just say enough is enough.
And how have you felt mentally and physically as well since making that change?
Fantastic. I swear, like, unless I'm just eating badly, let's say just eating chips all the time and just all the carby foods, I have energy galore. Whenever I used to eat, I would want to sleep. Eat sleep syndrome was just natural for me. So I wouldn't typically want to eat unless I know I can go sleep straight after, or like at least sit down and not be bothered for like the next 2 hours.
The itis.
You know. The itis and me are best friends after every meal as standard, except breakfast, because I guess I'd eat lighter. But then that's a lie, because most of the time my breakfasts were like dinners. So anyway, but we won't go into that. I can't gain weight, but if I could, I would have been very huge. But yeah, it did a lot more energy in general, a lot more energy. Skin's clearing out, my hair started to really grow. This is not a reflection because I haven't washed this for we won't say how long. And so my hair is probably like about here. If it gets washed and blow dried, you know how black hair is, but it's probably about here. But that just happened. Plant-based came, and within a year, everything just started changing. I've never been an extremely spotty person, but the clearness in the skin, my hair, it always looked as if I was glowing. Like when you go on holiday and everyone's like, your skin is looking radiant. I was like, okay, that must be the food. But I started drinking a lot more water and stuff like that as well. Everything changes because you have to. If I'm not having the meat, then what am I having with my rice? So it kind of, I ate less rice, I ate less pastas. As I started to get more of a handle of things, I would just have a lot more veg, things like quinoa as well, and a lot more fruit and stuff. Everything just changed, but I was definitely energized.
And on the topic of hair, I got a surprise for you.
Hey, what you got?
I got the hair growth oil.
Hey, don't get me excited. Ooh, and this is your brand. Nah, this is
This is before it's launched officially.
Is it?
Yeah.
So I got the free. Hey, thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you. Oh, see, and this is the thing. I went extreme, so I only like using natural products.
Herbal infused, all natural, toxic free, paraben free.
And it's in there, so it's easy to just.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Welcome.
I'm excited. Now I have to wash my hair. Use my new hair oil, you know? Thank you. This looks really good.
Thanks.
Ooh, I can't wait till. When do you plan on launching? I know this ain't about that. But
March. By the end of March latest, I'm just waiting for the bottles. I've got like 10 liters to go.
Yes. Oh, this is amazing.
Yeah, it helps with your scalp health as well.
Oh, your hemp. Oh yes, I am looking forward to that. I will let you know.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That's amazing. Thank you.
So, the next thing we're going to go into is how you actually got started after you had the light bulb moment, making your first vegan crumble. How did you actually start your business and go about that?
Well, I was working from home at first, like I said, because I used to do athletics. And with sprints, everything is about your diet and what you're doing in your day-to-days. So I didn't like doing work that interfered with athletics, although I wasn't even at the level where it was making me money.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, maybe I'll start and going plant-based. I discovered I could cook. And I'm not saying I couldn't cook before, but it got really creative. Like really creative.
You could cook.
Cook. And then people would ask me for some food. Then they started saying you should sell the food. So it didn't even start as Crumble Mania. It started as me doing these meal plans for other athletes. And then again, bearing my family in mind, my coach in mind, and the fact that athletes, we don't want the hype, all the sugar stuff and a whole load of salt, but you still want it to taste good and you want more natural ingredients. And I wanted to make sure it was nutritious. Because all we're obsessing over is, are we getting enough protein? Are we getting enough iron, magnesium, zinc? Like we go in with it, you know what I mean? So I'm creating foods to that degree. So I'm like, okay, but we want dessert. Like we're eating all that good food and then we're gonna go slap down a chocolate cake or something. You wanna keep it going. So I'm like, okay, we need to create this healthier crumble. Hence, before, like I said, the angelic and the hemp protein. But then people say, you need to sell it, you need to make more. But I'm doing this from home in my little kitchen. Now my kitchen at home is definitely smaller than this. So then I got to a point I'm making for 10 people and I was doing the whole meals. Like, so you're getting a starter, the main and a dessert.
Damn.
And probably the side to go with your main, if that makes sense. And I was only 10 people. I weren't ready for that. So I capped it, literally. I'm like, I'm at max capacity, can't make no more, that's enough. And I was dropping those off. And every now and again, I give them a snippet of the crumble. These times now, I think I already had in my mind, this is what we're doing. It's not about these meals, it's actually the crumble.
You're manifesting it.
Yeah, and I'm like, this is gonna happen. And I was speaking to my mum, like, why has no one in the family actually said to themselves, why don't we sell crumble? Like, this crumble is the bomb, Diggy, grandma had it made. Like, why has nobody said, let's sell this, let's get it on the shelves, let's do something? And it's like, well, there's no true reason why not. It's like, well, for real, like, it makes sense, why wouldn't we? Because I think the most we would ever have thought of, or anyone would have thought about previously, is maybe providing it to other Caribbean food shops, because they always sell crumbles in Caribbean shops. So it's like, that's the most and as far as our minds kind of went to. But then, yeah, because I was making and selling the food, I was like, I'm doing it. There was literally just the light bulb moment of, I'm doing it. I went to Portugal by myself and a lot of things just started to become clear. And that's when it literally was, yeah, you're selling crumble, you're gonna have a crumble business. I started jotting down different possible names of the crumble shop. There was like 5 different ones, and then I sent it to very close and personals, like which one do you prefer, which one do you prefer, which one do you prefer. So then it was against Crumble Mania and one other name, but Crumble Mania just made no sense, so I just do it. And then the rest is, yeah, so from home, sorry. So I started on Uber, delivery and Just Eat. So from the jump, there was no, I'm gonna be selling it to family and friends.
Yeah.
They'll be biased anyway and tell you it's good even if it isn't great. So I was like, no. I need real opinions of people who are gonna be straight up, give you your 1-star rating if that's all you deserve. They'll give you your 5-star because they feel like it was 5 stars. So got registered with the council, had the food inspectors come, done my course, the food hygiene course and all of that sort of stuff. And then just set up straight away. And this was before lockdown, because I know during lockdown there was this boom of a lot of people operating food businesses from home. This was before that. It was at least 6-7 months before that whole thing kicked off. And on Uber delivery, it was doing its thing. It wasn't crazy, but it was doing its thing. But at the time, I refused to sell sugar.
Yeah.
So I never had the traditional crumble. It was only the angelic crumble. That's all they had an option of. It was the angelic crumble, apple, cherry, or banana, I think were the original ones.
Yeah.
And that was it. And that's what was being sold. Then I introduced hemp protein. It still was not the original crumble. Then I said, okay, we need to cater for gluten-free. So there was 2 versions of each. And then, yeah, my friend had a serious conversation with me. Said like, this is business. It's not about you and your ethics and what you think about food. You're creating a business out of this. People want a traditional crumble, so you give them a traditional crumble. I'm like, yeah, but I don't want to give them cane sugar. I don't want to contribute to tarnishing everyone's health. And they're like, no, but yours is still healthier because it's vegan and you're not slapping it with a whole load of sugar. Like, it's sweet, but it's not. You know, sometimes you have a dessert and you can only have that tiny bit because it's just way too much. It's not over, it doesn't overdo it. So it's like, okay. It took a while. Like, I really had to have serious conversation with myself. Do you want this to be a business? Or if you're just out here trying to save the world, then why don't you just do some talks online like others do and advise and give dietary advice and give tips on recipes or whatever. If you're trying to make this a business, you kind of need to loosen the rails a bit. So I did. It was hard, but I did. So that's how it started, just literally from home on the delivery platforms, and those were the customers, and that was it. I said shop one day. One day.
And on that, how did you make the change from going to your kitchen to the shop, and what was the process like? I know it was a long process, but a little bit on the process, the main aspects of it.
Yeah, I'll be honest, it wasn't even as long a process as you could imagine.
Oh, was it?
I was not ready. But because I'm a go-getter, and as I said, in my head, the way I think, I'm very optimistic, and I'm just entrepreneurial minded. I'm about business. So the opportunity of this shop came available. I said I was not moving from selling at home until I was getting a minimum of 30 orders a day. It was not near that. The average was like 12 orders a day. No. It's like, you can't financially move to it if it's not going to sustain itself. Do you know what I mean? But this opportunity came up. I live 10 minutes from here, walking 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And the price was an amount, the rent is an amount of, did you really say no to this? Do you know what I mean? Like, this opportunity isn't coming up. Maybe never again. So it wasn't an option. It wasn't about me being ready. It wasn't about me feeling like the business was in that position. It was literally taking the opportunity. Like, who am I to say no to that? When I see Crumble Mania so much more than my pocket or my family's pocket, this is for young people. This is for them to be able to grow within it and have their own. That's what this is about. So the conversation was, how dare you? It's not about, are you ready? This opportunity is here and you're going to make it work. And that's it, case closed. So yeah, literally once it was agreed that I could have the place, it was get it decorated, find the funds, because literally I was not in, like I said, I was not in a position, find the funds, get it decorated to a minimal standard that suits what you want it to look like, and get it done. Pray for the best, all of that. But yeah, literally.
And how did you go about finding the funds?
What I put into this, I actually, from home, I actually had the government bounce back loan. So I actually got that from when I was at home. So I applied for that. I did not spend it all at once. So I had some of that still available to put in. I mean, decorating it, this is more cosmetic because the place looked really nice. From the jump, it was very fresh. Who was here before, they already did all the basics.
Yeah.
So there wasn't much for me to do apart from put Crumble Mania's mark on it. So it was more just, it's cosmetic. It was painting, tiling, and some of the flooring. Then the rest we've literally done bit by bit. Getting the sign was a priority, but things like the tables, there weren't tables in here at first, I don't think. Then I think there was 4 tables. There wasn't the sofa, and now there's the Crumble Mania sofa. It was literally bit by bit. It was as long as we had, because I had all of this in my house already. I had the air fryers. My house wasn't set up as just a basic kitchen. My living room was an extension of the kitchen.
Damn.
So I had shelving with all of the packaging, everything. When you walked in, it felt like you was in a mini shop. Everything was lined up neatly. So a lot was already there. And then the shop that was previously here, I bought stuff off of them. So some of the stuff was, so like the fridges, the big fridges. So I didn't have to fork out as much as the startup cost for the average shop, to be honest. I was blessed in that sense, and that's why I'm saying the opportunity was one that you don't say no to.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it wasn't.
And also, how much time did you have to put in the beginning?
To be honest, it took me longer because of finances. So everything that was done could have easily been done in a month.
Yeah.
But I had to drag it out. So it took about 3 months because I needed to wait for more funds to come in, work and make more funds and do that. But yeah, it took me about 3 months. To be honest, the work in here didn't need to take more than a month.
Yeah.
At all.
And on average, how many hours were you spending per day working in the shop or working on stuff for the shop as well, compared to now?
About 16 hours a day.
Yeah. Oh.
My average working day is about 14. But on a weekend, because the hours were longer, 16 hours.
Yeah.
I had no life. It was work and sleep. Work and sleep. Work and sleep.
What
I would
actually?
leave-
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say, what actually got you through that?
Just the vision. Literally determination. You see, for me, where Crumble Mania is concerned, it isn't. I can't say it's not. The money is a byproduct of what's going to come, but it's not the money that motivates me with Crumble Mania, because I would not be here. It looks great, and but there's more to business on the back end than people realize. So you can be getting the sales, you can be getting all that, but there's still expenses, and for it to grow how it needs to grow, I needed a staff team. Because at the beginning, opening the shop, doing it from home, I was laxy-daisy. I would close on days I was supposed to be open. If I just weren't feeling up to it and I opened, I might be open for an hour, then I shut. And customers would be upset because it's not like there was any other crumble shop nearby or whatever. So it wasn't great. But I quickly learned I couldn't do that with a physical shop. So the pressure was on in that sense. It's like, whoa, you say you're open from that time to that time, that's how long you're open for. Now, at the time, I wasn't open. I was only open 4 hours, from 6 p.m. till 10 or 11. One of the two, I think maybe 11. So 4 or 5 hours a day. And that seems like, well, you've got the whole day to do what you want to do. But I wasn't as organized. This was all new to me. I haven't come from a catering background. Prepping for this business would take me a minimum of 4 hours. On average, 6 hours. So my day was not just 4 or 5 hours. Then when you close, the cleaning and then the reorganizing would take me another hour to 2 hours. So being open only 4 to 5 hours still took about 11 hours of my day. So there was that side of it. And then what got me through it, the determination. So what I'm saying is, I would never, the business doesn't finance the amount of hours I work. So that in that sense is what I say, if it was for the money, I wouldn't be here, because I can go and get a job, and when I've left that job, I'm like, when at the end of the day you've gone, that's it, you're not thinking about work. This is 24 hours. So if you really want to know how many hours, it's 24, because best believe I dream it. I could be watching a movie and I'm seeing something that is connecting and giving me ideas to Crumble Mania, or that part of my brain is still thinking about the shop and whatever else. So it's seriously constant. But what drives me is young people. That's where my passion is. I worked in children's social care for at least 5-6 years, and I was a placements officer, so I was more on the back end of it. But it is matching the young people, still seeing the scenarios that are happening with their foster carer or their care home or whatever it might be. And then I wanted more hands-on as well, so then I started doing part-time in the care homes, directly working with the young people, family assessments, and working with families, and either way it was with young people, right? And I feel like I was a person that when I was younger, I didn't know what I wanted to do. Outside of athletics, and outside of wanting to be an accountant when I was like 8 years old, 11 years old, all of those stuff, and I went to college, studied a bit of it, and then said, no, this is not for me. After that point, I had no clue, because I was set on the fact that I was going to be an athlete and an accountant. It's night and day, but I was going to be those two things. So athletics, I took up when I was 23. So okay, I'm doing that. Cool, let's see how far that goes, whatever, but it wasn't making me money. And accountancy was gone. So what's your career? I did not know. And And there's so many young people that are in that same position. There's so many young people that you go to college and you're just studying because you need to stay in studies. And I'm not saying you don't, I'm just saying you need to stay in studies, but studying what and for what purpose? They don't know the journey or the reason why they're studying that. They haven't connected all the dots. Because 9 times out of 10, or without really realizing it, 17, 18, 19, you're young. You don't necessarily know what you want to do all the time. You may be on a path where you're told what you should do, so you're along that path. Do you know what I mean? So for me, it's them having another option. Not for you to come into a business and remain a kitchen assistant, or to come in the business and remain a customer service assistant or operator or whatever, or to remain a supervisor, or just to remain a manager, or to just remain a branch manager, or just, and recognize I'm going up a ladder here. My thing is you've got the option. You can stay a kitchen assistant and be happy and be the best at that. You can be a customer service officer and be the best at that. You could be a crumble technician, you're the baddest at crumbling, and remain and be happy with that. But if you want to go somewhere different with it, I'm here to help you along. Crumble Mania is here to help you along that journey. You might be somebody who's into marketing. Your dream might not be Crumble Mania, but guess what? There's a job here that's going to help you in your journey and give you that experience. And do you know what I mean? And it's a place where you can go up the ladder because it's a new business. So, okay, one day Crumble Mania is going to have 100 branches. It's going to have 1,000 branches. It's going to have, do you understand? So then we're going to have a marketing team. So you could be marketing lead, marketing manager, marketing director. It's like the ladder doesn't need to stop. And then guess what? Why it doesn't stop even more so is because we are going to franchise. And the main thing for me is about people having something that is theirs. Some people want to work for somebody because they want the guidance, they want their, and all of that. Some people, their ownership, they want their own. They're business, they're entrepreneurs, they don't want to work for anybody. And as much as, yeah, having a franchise, you'll have guidelines, but it's yours. No one can take, it's yours. If that doesn't work, it's because it didn't work because you didn't put in what you needed to put in. But on the flip side to that, because of who I am and the management team that I'm building, and then what's going to continue building as people go up the ladder, they're going to be mentors, and they'll be mentoring the next one, and you're going to always have that somebody to go to, and not just about work-related issues. If you choose to, that's going to be someone you build a rapport with, so you can speak about all the other stuff going on in life to help you get through that a bit better. Someone with experience that can give you some tips and ideas, and do you know what I'm trying to say? So it's like, it's not about me. It doesn't matter if I'm tired, stressed, frustrated. I can fly off the handle at the staff that I hear now, but because I invest so much time in them, they accept that. Whether it's okay or not, it's like they accept it. Because you know what? When I want to talk to Shay about this stress, this one, that one, this is happening, that's not happening. Should I go out? Shouldn't I go out? Should I do this or should I do that? Should I get another part-time job on top of this one? I'm here. Do you know what I mean? So it's just having, it's a family. So it's having a family outside of your biological family, and it's having another option, and it's a real option. It's not a pipe dream, it is going to happen. So whether it's that young person or that young person or that young person, we only staff people under 25. At the moment, the whole staff team is under 21. And call it ages, I don't care. That's what's happening, because it's about the next generation. It's not about me. I'm past it. I'm past it. So I can't be in my own feelings of how I feel when I'm working all the time, the long hours I might be doing, the customers that might be stressing me even though they never really do, the staff that might be stressing me. I can't complain about it because I asked for this. This is what I've chosen. I've chosen this path for me, but it's for the younger generation, and that's what drives me. Literally.
And also earlier when I came, we were speaking a bit about so touching on the topic of the young people that work with you. So could you just tell us about what you did with your young people this week, and why, and how your mental health and taking care of yourself is important when you're working as well?
I mean, So recently, I feel like there's something in the air with a lot of people around me that I know personally, but this week just seems to be one of those times that there's a lot going on in people's lives, and it just feels like, you know, when it can just feel like everything's a bit much and you just need a second. Now you're in a job, your hours are your hours. Yes, you can take annual leave, but then it's like, am I gonna waste my annual leave just because I need a second and my head feels foggy? Now, for some of our young people, it can be that they're in A-levels, it could be that they've got other careers. One of ours is a musician, so he's got a music career. It could be that people have got stuff going on personally, housing-wise, relationship-wise. Now, again, because there's a rapport that's been built, I typically know what's going on in the lives of my staff. So when I can see, like seriously see it at work, that their energy levels are low. Now, the first thing, I know that my energy level is low when I haven't eaten. So that's gonna always be one of my first go-to questions. What did you eat today? What did you eat? Have you actually eaten? Like, and unless you're fasting, which I advocate, fine. But if you're fasting, we're still gonna have a conversation to see how we can pick up the energy level, because it's a customer facing role. We don't have a back kitchen where you can have a face like a slack cow all day and get on with your work. You gotta put on the smile, you gotta ask questions. It's a new type of shop, so it's confusing for customers as well, so they've got more questions. And it is like being a kid in a candy store. People are excited, there's so many options. It's like, whoa, what is this? It's blowing my mind. So their enthusiasm can't be met with, hi, what would you like? Which crumble? So if I see that, and that's not in a normal day of the staff team here. Everyone has got such amazing characters and customer service, and they're people who like to help. They want to do a good job. Do you know what I mean? So when I see all of this, I can't ignore it. So we're either going to have a one-to-one and we're going to talk about it, or if you're not going to want to, if you don't want to talk about it, I cannot force you. That's not the job. Do you know what I mean? They didn't sign up for that, although they like me to mentor at the same time. So I have to just leave it. But if I see it's impacting their health to a degree, and this has gone on for days and days and days, now, again, they don't want me to overwork. So they will get frustrated at me working out how maybe they can take some time off, and I'll cover the evening shift, which will mean me doing a 14-hour shift. They will get annoyed. No, but that's too much for you, and And I'm like, listen, it's my business. I'm the manager. I can manage me. I don't need you to manage me too. It's okay. I've got this. But this week, there was a lot of it. So I literally decided yesterday, you're having tomorrow off, which is today, and Friday. And in some cases, it's their normal day off on a Saturday anyway, so they'll get a 2-3 day off, and it's paid. It's not going to affect, it's not going to come out of their annual leave entitlement, because they need it. And again, they're not too happy about it, but I know, I can see it's needed. And as long as we have the conversation for me to break down why it's needed, and then they have that further understanding, they accept, of course, because, you know, it's a day off and you're paid. And you need it. Like, what I'm lying, you need it. Do you know what I mean? So that's some of the things that happens here. And then, like, for example, supporting staff with health issues, whether that is mentally, whether it's mental health issues or physical. So we've had young people that didn't like their weight, and we've been on a journey for a whole year, and they've lost over, is it 50 kg or something?
Wow.
Something absolutely ridiculous. 50, yeah, it is. It's 50 kg. They've lost in less than a year, and that is not an easy task. Like, that's a constant support that needs to be there. Phone calls, whether it's late night, because you know, if you're prone to eating, if you're prone to gaining weight and you are quite big and you secret eat and all of those kind of things, they tend to happen at night. Because for a lot of us as humans in general, if you're going to feel lonely, 9 times out of 10, that's going to happen at night time. That's when it's going to kick in more so. And then a lot of us comfort eat when there's stuff going on and your mind won't rest, or there's not that person there that you want to be there, or you're not doing the things you want to be doing, or you haven't got the finances that you want to have. It has a strain, and we all comfort eat in one way or the other. So it's having that person you can talk to that understands more about what you're going through and is with you, as opposed to just cracking the whip, because trust me, I crack the whip and I am hard, but the understanding is always there, so it's reciprocated well. But yeah, that's just some of the things. It's like I said, it's a whole support system, and mental health is key. Like, it is so hard to put on a smile and a brave face. That takes so much energy when you feel like shit. It's draining. So then that adds to the issue that they originally had, which may have nothing to do with work to begin with. But now it's like, I'm being forced to talk, I'm being forced to answer questions, I'm being forced to smile. But that's the life we're in, isn't it? Like, the working world, that's the life we're in. We're out here coexisting with other human beings, so we can't just do and be as we wish at all times. We have to adapt, but it's just nice knowing when you've got that place you can escape to. And for a lot of them, this is also that place they escape to. So it's work, but it doesn't feel like work, because they do have the freedom to express and be how they want to be to a degree as well. So yeah, it's just, I don't know if that.
So, what has been one of the hardest challenges you've had to face with building the business and everything else?
I think I'll put it, one's going to be short, one will be short, one will be a bit longer. So one of the challenges for me personally would be finances, because a lot of the time when a person starts a business, they've had that plan to start the business, so they would have been saving, have money aside, and then that's what they're going to invest into the business, so they got that safety blanket. Whereas with me, the challenge has been everything is just now, let's go. So it's just the business has to make it for the business to sustain it. It has to sustain itself, it's not an option. The safety blanket isn't there. But I believe energy is such a big deal for me. So because of the way that I naturally am, energy is everything, literally everything. So I will be looking at the numbers and I will see at the end of the week that, or towards the end of the week, wow, we're kind of down, dang, we need to actually make 500 these next 2 days, for example. Best believe we're making 500 in those next 2 days. Don't ask me how, it happens every time. Damn, we're at the end of the month, the rent's due. That's not sitting pretty there right now. We need to make rent, guys. Best believe we make rent. That's one of the biggest challenges, because even though it happens, there's a whole emotional and mental strain happening for me. So in terms of doing the business alone is where the longer side of the answer comes. Doing the business on your own is challenging as shit. I will not act like that is a simple task by any means, especially not a business operating at this level now. Because yes, there's staff, but doing a business without a business partner is quite a different topic. You haven't got somebody to constantly bounce off of. You haven't got where your weaknesses might be their strengths to bounce off of. You just haven't got that go-to. You haven't got that someone else to lean on. Because again, if somebody's coming and doing a job, when you leave work, you've left work. You're not thinking about work no more. But I might still be thinking about stock levels, prep, what cleaning needs to be done, the admin, have I balanced the books? Do you know what I'm saying? Have I responded to that email? Oh, we've got Instagram comments and messages to still respond to. Oh, we've got this event coming up and we've been asked to do 50 crumbles. Okay, now let's work out the rota. Oh, this person's off because they're sick. Who's gonna cover? How are we gonna jiggle this? And it's just a constant. And then you're thinking about, okay, new and exciting ways. When are we gonna bring this on the menu? Because I've got this idea. And then a whole new recipe comes and it's like, God damn, will you just slow down for a minute? The biggest challenge is definitely just doing the business alone. Because I've never planned on that. I will never just take up a business partner for the sake of taking up a business partner, but it was never the plan. I'm not somebody that works well by myself, if that makes sense. I love my own company, don't ever get that twisted. But where business is concerned, I think it's nice to have a team and nice to have somebody like your actual go-to, just like a relationship. A business is like a relationship as far as I'm concerned. You've got your husband or your wife, your business partner, and you've got your children, your staff. You've got older and younger siblings. In spite of age, is how long somebody's been in the business, how experienced they are, whether they're a supervisor or a manager, or whether, do you understand? It's like they're the same, but there's no husband. Do you know what I mean? So it's like you're just piling it all on in your own head, and it's just going on and on and on and on and on. And I used to say about athletics that there has to be a level of insanity to do that sport. Probably most sports, but there has to be a level of insanity to do athletics. Sprint training is what I did, and it is insane because what you're putting yourself through on a day-to-day, especially if you're not getting paid for it. It's like, are you nuts? Why are you running in the snow up and down hills? Like, why? By choice? For that little moment where you do a 60-second run or a 20-second run, or to get to the finish line and say, like, do you know what I mean? You have to be borderline insane. I feel the same about business. You have to have it. There's got to be an element of crazy, even with a business partner. You might be less crazy, but there has to be a bit crazy in you, because you have so many conversations going on in your head, because there isn't that other person to have the conversation with. So it's like you're having a conversation with yourself over as that business owner, and also as that technician, the person who's actually doing the shift, because I'm doing both, right? So that business person at times is cussing this person because they didn't handle the shift right. So example, I'm supposed to be in here 10 in the morning to do prep, to be able to take time and do enough prep to do the whole evening, because evenings when it gets busiest. Shay decides she's turning up late today and doesn't get in here until 1 o'clock. We open at 2. 1 hour is not enough to do 10 batches of crumble, the custard that needs to be prepped, and whatever other fruit. Cook the apples, prep the peach, etc, etc, etc. Right? It's not enough time. However, she will do it sometimes because she likes to be late sometimes. Or she decides, I deserve to sleep a bit longer, so I'm coming in at 1 because I didn't get in till midnight. Okay, what's your point? You chose this business, right? Start times 10, coming at 1. So I'm dealing with myself as a member of staff. Customer comes in at 2 o'clock, I'm vexed. I'm vexed because a customer comes in when it's opening time. But why are you vexed though? Because you didn't come in at 10 o'clock and do all the prep that you were supposed to do on time. So you want to now try and do it whilst you're on shift when you're supposed to be ready to serve the customers. So yeah, there's those type of battles, mental battles that happen. I think I am my worst enemy. We're all our own worst enemy. But I get in my way. You know what I mean? And it's to do with the structure and planning. So when you don't have a business partner, you're also not being held accountable. Who am I accountable to? But what I've realized is I'm accountable to my customers. Because if that thing is sold out, 9 times out of 10 it's sold out because Shayone didn't do it. Strawberry custard and chocolate custard has been off the menu for so long. There are customers that love that, and they come every week and they still ask for it even though they get the response, it's sold out. Why is it sold out? Because Shayone hasn't done it. Why hasn't Shayone done it? Because she hasn't prepared herself enough. She didn't plan the day right to get it done. There's no excuses. And the business me will be so frustrated with this person not doing her job right. So that's one of the biggest challenges, just not having that accountability, that person to bounce off of and being my own boss. It's not good enough because I'm so hot on customer service and consistency. Just like McDonald's. I'm about to turn up to McDonald's and be told, sorry, we've got no chips today. Excuse me? What do you mean? What do you mean? Or you go KFC, with that the time when they ran out of chicken, it ended up in the news because it's a big deal. What do you mean you got no chicken? You can't not have chicken. There was a time we had no custard. So we're a crumble shop with no custard. Is that not the main thing with custard, with crumble? You can't. There's been times we had no apples. Why? You can't not have apples. It's the main crumble. Come to a crumble shop and I can't get apple crumble. What do you mean? I'm never coming back here again then. So imagine that's a first experience for a customer. You've got no custard, you've got no apples. You lot are a shambles. Please, get your shit together. Do you know what I mean? It's not okay. But what would be the reason? Because I'm doing so many things and your head's all over the place that you forgot, I didn't order apples. Now the shift started, or we ran out because there wasn't enough and we underestimated how much orders we would get for the day or whatever, and it's not good enough. It's just not good enough. But that's one of the biggest challenges. Whereas if there was somebody else, they might be in charge of stock. And it's not like to say the staff can't take on those types of roles. Those are the types of things we're doing now. We're allocating more tasks as they're building up to manager positions and all of that. Mm-hmm. They're a lot more familiar with how things go, but it's definitely one of the biggest challenges, is doing it by yourself. I would not say don't do it by yourself. I'd just say have a very strong think about starting a business on your own. But it starts somewhere. It's just knowing that expansion has to happen if that's the plan. Unless it is just more of a hobby and a side hustle. If you want it to be your main hustle, if you want that to be your main source of income, then just know it has to get to a place where you acknowledge you can't do it all on your own. But yeah, I don't know if that answers you.
So on the topic of mentorship, can you talk about your mentor and also the mentoring that you've done?
Yeah, so I'll talk about mentoring because that is very close to the fact that there's no business partner and no accountability. So when Goldsmiths approached, Goldsmiths came into Crumble Mania one time and spoke about a program, the brand program that was going. So we signed up to that and Inspire Leadership. And I didn't really know what was going to be involved in that, but I knew a mentor was one of it. And that was all I was interested in, to be honest. The fact that they then also provided internships and there was workshops and all of these other aspects, it just meant nothing to me. I was just like, mentor, this is a mentor, I'm gonna have a mentor. What? I'm like, yeah, I'm up for that, I'm down. That's all I was interested in. So then my mentor is Dean Williams, and he was my mentor. And I was like, okay, this sounds fun. And he just, from the jump, just said, what do you want from it? And I said, predominantly probably accountability and having somebody that, you know, starts to understand my ways and understands that I know how to say what I need to say for you to agree with me, to then it ends up being you just understanding why I haven't done something. So as long as you understand that about me, we'll be able to work well and I'll probably end up getting stuff done. And it was just like, oh yeah, that's it, because that's what I'm about. I don't take excuses. I will be holding you accountable. And you may not like me sometimes, but I don't care. And it's like, and we will implement a fine system. So when you haven't done XYZ, you pay a fine. I'm like, huh? Pardon? How much we talking here? Like £5? £1? £10 tops? I was like, no, 50. And then one of the fines, for a particular reason, he said £200. I said, pardon? From where? Okay, we'll stick a pin in that. Dean, being my business mentor, has been amazing. So you asked a question earlier about how many hours I put in. Now, where I used to put in 14 hours a day, 16-hour days, Dean getting me to implement certain things that I had mentioned, like I needed more structure in here in terms of prep, how long it's taking, etc., etc. Him being on my case and also bringing some of his views of how things could be made easier, and using my 1 day a week, Monday, which is the day that the shop's closed, and I would want as my complete day off, to use that day to get ahead of the week, obviously makes sense, but I was anti, and just coming up with a plan. It cut my hours down from 14-hour days to now, I don't have to do more than 6 hours a day. Like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, my shifts have now, they're actually technically 10 till 2. That's 4 hours. Do you know how crazy it is? It's so crazy that I don't think I get it, because I still end up staying here. And I'm not needed, I'm just here. So I'm like, okay, so what do I do now then? Because I've been used to over a year doing 14-hour, 12-hour. What do you want me to do now? Well, I'll just sit here. If you need my help, let me know. And I'm like, they're like, it's okay, Shay, just sit down. I'm like, okay. I can bag up if you want, and I'm there begging for work. So, but that's because it's not, again, it's not because I don't trust the staff. I've been able to go on holiday, and this is all since having a business mentor, like just really patterning stuff. The rota used to do my head in, and I just wasn't doing the rota in the most effective way. So now it's like that restructured, and it works for the staff and it works for me. It gives me more time off, and I was able to go away for 4 days from the entire business on holiday with a staff team that are under 21. Do you know how big that is? I didn't until now, but yeah, that's actually a big deal. And when I think about it, again, it's the conversations I was having with Dean, like him seeing the tiredness, so to speak, the level of how drained I can get, but then him also looking and saying, but it doesn't need to be that way. You're not planning, you're not, and it's so basic. Who doesn't get told, do a to-do list, plan your days? Like, we all know this, but are you doing it? And then hold on, wait, pause, because if you're doing it, because I would do it, but then I wasn't opening it to actually go through it and tick stuff off. It was just there, sitting pretty in my phone or on a piece of paper. It's no use there. So then when you have your next meeting with your business mentor, and Dean's like, okay, so what about da-da-da-da? And what about da-da-da-da? I'm like, I haven't done it. So what have you done? If I'm honest, I haven't looked at it. What? What do you mean you haven't looked at it? So why am I here? So then you're like, oh, hot damn. Okay, why am I here? So I'm spending time sitting, going through this with you for what? If you're not even gonna look at it. So okay, cool, this is next. I'm not gonna make no excuses, I'm gonna get to it, yeah, you're gonna get to it, and you're gonna do what's required for this week. So now you got double the load. Huh? Yeah, you got those tasks that you didn't complete and these tasks to do. And I wanna know as each is done. So, okay. And some things I needed to copy him in an email so he would know if it had been done. He would know how long I took to do it, because 4 days have passed, and if he hasn't got an email, then he knows I haven't done it. It's like, huh, I've actually got to do this, haven't I? Yeah, it makes such a big difference. Like, things started to get done. Even when speaking to the staff, they used to get stressed at prep and stuff like that, and they used to say, Shay, can't we just have a list like of how it's done? Like, can we not just have the procedures laid out so everybody does it this way, so there's no more, why is it like this? Why is this the custard too thin or too thick? And who did it? You don't know how it's done. Can we just have it written down? That's exactly what should be happening. So when you got staff hitting you with, girl, why aren't you running your shite right? And then you got your mentor saying, why haven't you done what's supposed to be done? You're like, damn, it's getting a bit hot in here. We need to like get it together, Shay. Get it together. And it makes a difference, because believe me, you get it together, because you start seeing how it's impacting others. Again, for me, doing stuff just for me isn't a big motivator. But if I see how my actions are affecting others, it's gonna motivate me. You understand? Because for me, that technically is also saving the business money in a roundabout way. Because if we're spending 4 hours on prep because the procedures haven't been done, which is a basic, where that could have took 2 hours, then that's 2 hours that could be spent on another area of the business, or given the chance for staff to sit down for once. Because when this kitchen is busy, there's no sit down. In the evenings, especially on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, sit down doesn't exist. You go, and then you sit down for a second, then all of a sudden, bing, bing, and there's, oh, order, you're back up again. Like, there's you think you might get a 10-minute, but it just doesn't happen. Do you know what I mean? So, and those things were worse because the organization of prep and stuff like that was so bad that we're in the middle of this shift when we should have been able to sit down doing stuff, prepping stuff, as opposed to it just being about serving a customer and dealing with an actual order. So yeah, for me, that's definitely been a massive help. And Dean has so much knowledge and experience. He's got so much connections, and he sees Crumble Mania's vision, that he's so passionate about helping me get to that place myself, let alone hooking us up with this program, or sending me a link to say join that webinar. This is about franchising, or this is about time management, or you know, there's a media course here that maybe if you don't go on, your staff can go on because one might be interested in doing some of the marketing. There's just little things like that. It sounds so small, but that didn't exist before. So it's not small, it's actually major. But he's extremely hands-on, extremely passionate about Crumble Mania, which is a big bonus because he actually, I feel like he goes the extra mile.
Yeah. I
don't want to get none of his other mentees jealous or nothing. But I'm pretty sure he does more for us than anyone else. I mean, it's a possibility.
Yeah.
But, no, but for real, it's a major thing having a mentor. Major. And I think every human should have a mentor, full stop. Let alone business. If you're on any path of setting up, you're self-employed, you're setting up any type of business, or you have an interest in it, a business mentor is a must. A mentor is a must. A must. It should be a legal requirement. It's a must, honestly. Honestly, don't ever underestimate the power of it and the power of talking. Because I'm not a person, I don't sit with somebody and just talk and complain and moan. I'm not about that. But a business mentor comes from a different place. It's not a counsellor. They're not trying to sit there and just listen. And I'm not saying counsellors just do that, because I also believe every human should have counselling too. Because life is quite the challenge at times. But like, they're coming from a place of how do we fix this, and they're coming from a place of experience. They've been there, they've seen it, and even if they don't have their own business, they've spoken with so many different people that have businesses and so many different entrepreneurs that they almost have that wealth of knowledge as experience, so to speak, because they're going through that journey with the other mentees. So what they bring from one, they can bring to the next, and that person's gone through that, so I can, actually, yeah, that works for them. Let me implement this over here when this person comes with that challenge. And it's just, yeah, it's priceless. It's probably the best way of putting it. Mentoring is priceless. And that's why I find it so important for me to mentor the staff too, because I know the benefits of it. And just having that somebody that's not going to be biased, and they're not going to just say yes to everything you say either. They're going to challenge you, and they're going to pull you out of your comfort zone.
Yeah. And final question to end off, where do you see Crumble Mania in, let's say, 5 years?
5 years. International.
Oh.
5 years international. Branches all over London. Like 5 years. Like in 2 years, like we have at least 3, 4 branches at least. 10, 3, 5 branches.
Yeah.
Branches. We'll be franchised by then. So basically, in 5 years' time, people will be able to buy their franchise.
Okay.
Before that point. But so yeah, we will be good.
And what do you want to leave our viewers with?
That's a good question. That's a good question. What do I want to leave the viewers with? You're not alone. You know, life, yeah, is for everyone. It always says it, but sometimes it's opening your eyes and realizing there is always somebody there, you know. As lonely as life may feel at times, sometimes it's a personal choice. It's pride and ego that stops us seeking help from others. It is not a weakness to seek help. Hear what I'm saying? It is not a weakness to seek help. There is so much, I'll wait for that to go by. There is so much strength in asking for help. That takes a lot of strength. So it is complete opposite to weakness. There is so much strength in seeking help because you're putting yourself directly in a vulnerable state, number one. That vulnerability is in you asking and knowing you could be rejected, right? Your expectation may not be met. That's vulnerability, you know. So what stops you doing it? Pride and ego. It's not because you don't think anyone can help you. It is not. That's the cover-up story. The true story is you're afraid of rejection. You don't want anyone to judge you. That's the truth of it. That's pride and ego. That is not going to get you where you want to get to. Pride and ego does not get you there. There's an element of pride and ego we all need in life, but that is not going to get you there. There is always someone. There's always someone. So sometimes you need to be honest enough with yourself to ask the question, is there actually someone there I can talk to, or is this my pride? Saying that I haven't got anybody, I haven't Really? Really? A lot of us are just afraid to say, can we talk? I need to talk to someone. Can you phone me please? I just need a minute. Can we meet up? Let's go and grab a bite. Grabbing a bite, it opens the door to be able to talk. Making that phone call, it opens the opportunity to be able to talk. Sending a text that says, can we talk? It opens the door for the possibility to talk. And you'll be surprised, like sometimes we're the ones judging others. Sometimes it's you judging that person, assuming that they cannot help you. You don't know that. Just because someone's younger or the same age, or you might think they're too old to understand, or that's you passing all those judgments. Ultimately, it's you judging yourself, saying, I'm beyond help, probably. And that's not the truth either. That's far from the truth. There's power in talking. That's what I want to leave with. There's power in talking.
You dropped a lot of gems, you know. And where can the viewers find you? What social medias are you on?
So Instagram is at Crumble Mania _UK. TikTok, I believe, is the same. Facebook, the same. So we're on all the social handles. Snapchat is an absolute ghost town. So yes, we are looking for marketing people that are on that whole socials aspect. But that is Crumble Mania. I think it's literally just Crumble Mania. And I don't know how to use Snapchat. So I don't know if there's an at or an underscore or something. But it's Crumble Mania.
Yeah. And your hoodies, are you going to be selling them soon?
What's that?
Your hoodies, the one you're wearing.
Oh! Yeah, I think merchandise is something we're going to be looking into for sure. Because we have had a lot of people, when they see them, say they want them. Because our uniform's going to be changing soon. So when our uniform changes, that will be exclusive, just uniform, then it will, the possibility for merchandise will be available for sure. But otherwise, yeah, the shop itself, come and drop by. So the shop is 395A New Cross Road, that's London, SE14 6LA. Crumble Mania, bright yellow sign, can't miss us, we're here. And we have an app, Crumble Mania app. Download the app from Play Store or App Store, because our crumbles are made fresh to order, like a pizza shop. You get that shit fresh, you create your own, you get exactly how you want it. And there's a little bit of a wait, 15-20 minutes. It's not that long, but you can order on the app. And you earn loyalty points. Money off, come on. Why wouldn't you? But there's the express crumble too. That's done in 5 minutes. But yeah, we'll talk about that.
And I can say personally, I've ordered it like twice this week already. So the stuff is good.